Pop culture portrays intelligence agencies as elite hit squads. We're used to seeing secret agents walk into a room, pull a trigger, and save the day. But for most of modern history, that bullet would have represented a failure. The actual mandate of a mid-20th century spy was absolute invisibility. Their job was to fade into the background, copy the documents, and observe troop movements without leaving a trace. In this era, spies collected information. They didn't execute targets. Eli Pond was the ultimate archetype of this invisible spy. In the early 1960s, he built a meticulous cover identity and infiltrated the highest tiers of Syrian high society for the Israeli Mossad. From an apartment in Damascus, Cohen radioed the precise positions of Syrian artillery back to Israel. He altered the balance of power in the Middle East without firing a weapon. But this passive form of espionage carried a solitary risk. When the Syrian government detected his radio transmissions in 1965, the state kept the intelligence, but Cohen alone paid the price at a public execution. That strict division between observation and action began to fracture in the 1970s. Standard state-on-state conflicts were rapidly being replaced by asymmetric warfare. Insurgent groups and militant networks began operating across borders, far outside traditional military zones. Simply intercepting their plans was no longer an adequate defense. By the time a traditional spy transmitted a warning, the attack was already in motion. The breaking point arrived in September 1972, during the Munich Olympics. A Palestinian armed group took 11 Israeli athletes hostage, leading to a botched rescue attempt and the deaths of every hostage. Intelligence agencies realized that watching and listening had severe limits. To ensure national survival, they had to start eliminating threats before they could strike. Following the Munich massacre, Prime Minister Golda Meir officially authorized Mossad hit squads to hunt down and kill the perpetrators. This policy repurposed an ancient Talmudic principle as a modern security doctrine. If someone comes to kill you, rise up and kill him first. This directive weaponized the intelligence apparatus. It forced agencies to cross a threshold where they were no longer recording history, but actively ending it. To manage this lethal power, they built a precise bureaucracy. Field agents build exhaustive dossiers on targets, weighing strategic value against resource costs. If approved, the dossier becomes a red page, traveling up to the Prime Minister for a final legal kill order. By the year 2000, this methodical process had scaled into a massive industrialized campaign. Faced with the domestic crisis of the Second Intifada, the Israeli government rapidly expanded its use of targeted killings. Shin Bet, originally a domestic intelligence agency, merged operations with the military. They transformed into a mechanized execution force, utilizing drone strikes for lethal orders. This evolution wasn't isolated. Other global agencies quietly adapted, with Britain's MI6 developing a highly secretive paramilitary branch known as the Increment for specialized black operations. This graph shows the surge in activity. While Mossad historically averaged one assassination every few months, by 2003, Shin Bet was conducting multiple lethal strikes in a single day, killing 135 people that year alone. The democratic state absorbed the roles of prosecutor, judge, and executioner into one industrialized covert machine. Proponents of this doctrine argue that relentless assassination is a strategic necessity. By targeting the leadership, they continuously degrade the effectiveness of the opposing organization. This creates a demographic vacuum. As senior, experienced commanders are wiped out, younger, inexperienced replacements are forced to take over prematurely, leading to operational chaos. This calculus has been applied on a macro scale to stop rival state infrastructure. For decades, hostile nuclear weapons programs have been disrupted through the systematic targeting and assassination of foreign scientists. Evaluated strictly through a tactical lens, this methodology works. It preempts strikes and temporarily keeps the state secure from absolute destruction. Yet this cycle of violence exacts a profound toll on the operatives involved and the fabric of the democratic societies they protect. It raises a critical question about long-term sustainability. When extrajudicial killing becomes the primary tool for survival and diplomacy, the moral foundation of the state begins to shift. Modern global superpowers maintain their peace and democracy in the light only by operating highly lethal, unaccountable machines in the absolute dark. The romantic myth of the gentleman spy is dead. Today, the ultimate instrument of state power is the authorized assassin.